Hey everybody, Marie here with Pretty Please. Welcome to my channel. This is my first process video. This layout was inspired by this stamp set by Catherine Pooler. If you have seen my latest video with my two daughters, you'll see that we participated in a video hop and we received that super nice stamp set from Catherine Pooler Designs, and I couldn't resist this clipboard and I thought they would make a wonderful scrapbook page. So my idea with the clipboard was to stamp many of them and to print out many pictures, size them to the size of the clipboard or of a paper, like a page that would be clipped to the clipboard, and to layer papers, pictures, embellishment. The clipboards are also a nice place to write some details, maybe not long journaling because they are so small. They are about 1 inch or 1.5 inch high by 1 inch wide. But it's big enough to add little details, like on one of them I added the address of the breeder where I got my dog. On another one I added the original name of the dog when we bought her. Her name was Bethany. And of course I talked about that in the journaling. So here I am stamping some of the pattern papers that will be layered under the pictures or on their own. I chose about 9 different pattern papers. Now I haven't bought a lot of supplies in the past, like 2 to 3, maybe 3 years. I was living in Europe, and being there it was harder to get supplies. So yeah, these papers are probably older. I took them in a 6x6 paper pad, but you know what? I'm sure you can go through your stash and find any paper that would fit with your pictures if you would like to do something like this. As you can see here, I even ripped out a page in an old book. So I bought that book while I was living in France, especially for the purpose of ripping pages out and using them on my scrapbook pages or collages or junk journal. I used one of the pictures that I had already cut down to size and in which I had already punched 3 tiny holes as a guide for my other pattern papers. Photo paper is pretty sturdy, so this one there was pretty handy to finish all my other, to finish cutting down all my other papers. In the end, I didn't like that I stamped the stamp directly on the picture. The line going through the face of my daughter was nerving me, and so in the end I decided to reprint that picture and to just clip it to the clipboard without any lines. You see here that there's I have a smaller version of that photo, but it was too small and we were losing the cute face of my dog. So here I have arranged the clipboards on my page in a way that pleases me. I went with the pictures and also the colors of the pattern paper to decide where every photo would go. There aren't really rules for that. I just went with which color of paper goes with my photo, and then how do I feel it? How do they go together? As you could see now, I just stamped again like the little clip of the clipboards, and I will mount these on 3D foam to make like a real clipboard. Now I decided to add the date with a roller stamp date. On that tiny page there are some little lines, just like on the large version of a real ruled paper where you would put the date. Next I am stamping a little speech bubble with a heart in it in red and pink. I have quite some pink on my papers and in my photos, but I also have some red. There's a red shirt and some orange on my boots. So I thought that this little heart could make a nice accent. Now this is a die with loads of letters, so I die cutted them in pink and in that book paper. I am using a ruler here, which I almost never do on a layout. I gave away perfection a long time ago when I had so many design teams and I had to be quicker. So now, since the 9 or the 8 little clipboards are, I figured that they have to be lined up and straight. Otherwise, it would distract the eye when you look at the layout. And here you can see how I used the die cut letters to spell out Bethany. So now I'm going to write my journaling, and I'm going to start with a lead pencil. The reason is that I have quite a lot to say, and also I want to incorporate those plastic letters, spelling Baileys in my journaling. So I just want to make sure that everything is lined up and that I have enough space to say everything that I want to say. I also want to put my thoughts together, and maybe I could have written my journaling on another paper before and then written, directly with ink, but I don't know. This is kind of doing two purposes at once. I write it down and it comes right from my heart, so it's pretty natural and organic. And at the same time, I see the form and the space on the page. This is done. Then I just go ahead and ink everything. My favorite pen to write my journaling on my pages are my Staedtler pigment liner. For long journaling like this, I use my 0.3, but sometimes when I want to do some little details, I will use my 0.1, or to add interest to a text, I can also play with my 0.5, to make bigger characters. So I like to play with all the sizes. You have to wait until it's very dry before you can erase. And I've cut it out of the video, but I kind of cleaned my eraser on a scrap piece of paper before erasing to make sure that there's no color from another project transferring onto your white background. So here I'm adhering all the little letters with glue dots. I have had these in my stash for probably 8 years. No kidding. I have no idea where they come from. It was about time for me to use them. So now I am just adhering everything left. Here you can see that I stitched my little, let's say it's a mini layout, right? I kind of consider all these little clipboards like mini layouts. I kind of distorted or distressed the side of the papers. And these two are going to get some more stitching. I love to change the color of the thread. Like here I'm using white. On the Bethany layout, mini layout, I used some pink. Here there is more pink, as you can see. And there's also some twine. Under the tag, I wrote down the address of the breeder, and I didn't want it to show right on top of the layout, but I know it's there. You see some numbers showing up on the side, so whoever wants to see it can take the page out of the plastic protector and look at the address. Here I was not sure what to do to kind of close that that white space that is open there at the top of my journaling. Was thinking of a chipboard banner, but I went with this little book page that was also in the stamp set from Catherine Pooler Designs with the clipboards. I'm using her ink as a little watercolor palette with a wet paint brush. And here you can see the final layout with all the details. I added some acrylic shapes and some mini trombones and some die cut vellums. Lots of fun little details to look at. Lots of layering, more stitching here. So I hope you liked my process video, and if you did, leave me a comment, a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.